Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On 1st down, it's Newton. And his first pass is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. It'll be a gain of 4. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll have Matt Ryan calling the shots, the former MVP and 3rd overall pick.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now it's Ryan. And his first look is incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
4 straight seasons of 1,000 yards for Julio Jones as wide receiver. One of the strongest receivers in the league. Runs over defensive backs, but also thinks his way through the game. Really knows how to collaborate with his quarterback, Matt Ryan.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. The former LSU Tiger Dante Jackson on the stop.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Here's Ryan to throw. On the screen, this is Coleman. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
The Carolina offense making their way out. We take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
We saw it at Stanford. It does not surprise me to see it here in the NFL as well. This is one elusive young man.
He set the NCAA record in 2015, 3,864 all-purpose yards.
Listen, after watching that move, I just called for the trainer. I think I pulled a hammy just watching it.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. On first down, Newton. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
they
don't
get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, look at that. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing on third down, Newton. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Oh, a heck of a move. Man. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. After the run, Newton going to throw. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas, and it'll bring up third down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. Early in this game, but you like the fact that
he's got it for a Panther touchdown. Ian Thomas with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead.
And these guys used a 4th-round pick on him this year specifically for red zone situations like we just saw, where he can use his big body to find open space and the end zone.
Extra point good by Catanzaro, and it's now a 7-0 game. Gano out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the shotgun, Ryan drops it off for Coleman. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 7-0 is our score. We're back to Uptown Charlotte after this timeout. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Thomas Davis. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Fights off the defender. Gets past one man. Open space inside the 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. A great effort there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead.
Well, pardon me, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And it's now 14-0. Gano out to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The left side completion to Jones. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 3rd down, it's Coleman, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
And he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here's Newton. And now running right through him. And, he spins past him and into space. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the gun, here's Newton. And nearly picked off there, almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again. Newton. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Tech McKinley in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Now Ryan down around the goal line. Looking dead. He rifles one that's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, wherever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. And now they come up and spike it to stop the clock. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Back to throw, Newton. And he gets it to Funchess complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
We always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here. Now Chandler Catanzaro for the field goal here. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So we reach halftime, and what's been... Well, that came a little abruptly here. So working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the third quarter now. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think just...
Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Dontari Poe breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. To throw is Ryan. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Mario Addison in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Now that's the way to start the second half. Back-to-back sacks. Whatever the halftime speech was, I hope they recorded it.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. Looking deep for Julio. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your advice. They threw the football, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? No takeaway for the defense. They'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And taken right at the 35. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. On 2nd and 10, Newton. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Devin Funchess, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Gano out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Ryan on 2nd down. And Jones has it over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Ryan to Jones, the Falcon connection there for a first. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And on the ground they go with a running back. Now a loose football. Coleman lost it, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Tackle made there by Robert Alford.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3rd down. Here's McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at about the 43. He needed 2. He got 1. And that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability.
And we're back now in Charlotte. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at the 20. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
On second down, here's Ryan. It's caught over the middle, Hooper. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards through the air and a first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. And open, that's Calvin Ridley. First catch of the game for the rookie Sutton. It's a first down. Ryan now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing again, Ryan. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now Ryan. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Now Ryan on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Going underneath, it's Coleman. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. On 3rd down, it's Coleman, and they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. Grady Jarrett with the tackle.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
This is McCaffrey on the give. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds and keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. A gain of 3, second down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining. The offense on third down tonight, they've hit 4 of 7. They're looking at third and a few inches. Now Newton. Going up top. And this will be caught. We'll forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Now the final act of this victory, the extra point. The extra point up and good, but this one was decided anyway, as that will be the final action in this ball game. The storyline in this one, Charles,